We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Neville Gallimore, Miami Dolphins defensive lineman, who played some edge snaps in this game as well and actually looked really dominant across the board. He's more of like your defensive lineman, but if he can give you some quality edge snaps, that's huge. I thought he was by far the most disruptive, explosive, especially as a pass rusher. Really used his hands well, and you get to like he was a guy that never really lived up to expectations as a draft pick. Maybe he finally fully develops, but he should be dominating these players, like these Falcons backup offensive linemen, like. He absolutely bullied them, but he's able to play a little bit with this level of explosiveness. This final D-line spot, like the last two D-line spots, this battle should be really fun because a lot of them played really, really well in this game, and I thought they all did it in kind of different ways, but Gallimore was one to really, really watch as he continuously made explosive plays, hitting the quarterback, doing it from different spots. It was actually really fun to watch him go to work because I thought he was really active with his hands, powerful with his hands, and he did it like while staying with really good pad level, maintaining his speed, really physical. I thought he played with pretty good bend too, because he's always been more of a linear athlete, but he does have a little bit of fluidity to work with there that definitely helped out in this game. And if he continues this, I think he probably earns one of those spots, because the other guys can play with like a level of consistency versus the run, but I don't know if any of them offer quite this skill set, which I think gives him a little bit of advantage, but he was truly dominant in this game. Here we get to see this first rep that we're showing off the edge, just a true one-on-one versus the tackle. Love the explosiveness off the ball, definitely plays with like a good twitch. And you can see it even in his upper body, his lower body, he gives you a lot to show. Like he's giving you different moves. Good job with his hands. Look at him like lift up, giving you a nice little forklift type move with his hands. Really good hand fighting. And then now once he hand fights, he gets into this spot, rips underneath, throws that left hand back to get his hand off, and then dip, reduce that surface area. So he's just combining moves together like crazy, and he's just staying explosive the whole way through. And he does it with such good low center of gravity. It's very difficult for these tackles to stay on him because they're much, usually lengthier, higher level. They play, with higher pad level. They're not as stout as guards. So he can win with like that good leverage and technique. And then versus guards, he kind of just wins doing the same thing, but also just with that athleticism. As you can see, here we got him at 3 tech, which is where I think his best position is. Very similar technique, lifting up with those hands. He was forklifting a ton of people. And I love the initial shock. Look at the shock in his hands to lift this guy up, stand him up, and then still staying low, using his hips. Now dip underneath, split between the guard and the tackle. Unfortunately, the ball is coming out very quick, but he was disruptive. This is the process you want to see. I actually thought Gallimore might have been... He was arguably the best player for the Dolphins in this game. There was a few people in contention like Gallimore. I think McMorris is someone to talk about. Some of the other D linemen are probably in the conversation as well. But Gallimore was so explosive. And here, another similar type of play. He's lined up as a 4-eye this time. And they're doing like play action, sliding their protection to the right. So even though he's, more in the interior, he still gets a tackle one-on-one. This time he meets him up, just squares him up at the point. But then look how violent he is with his hands to just toss him out to the side. And then keep himself clean and then bend around the edge. He's basically working as an edge again. He's ripping, bending, showing off that fluidity. And forces basically Penix to get rid of the ball early. And he misses the throw in the flat. And also gets a nice little hit. So a nice pressure hit. Force the ball to go away quickly. And doing it from this spot, it's not easy to bend around. When you're lined up as a 4-eye, they run play action, and you're able to work the arc around the tackle. That is special and not common. And obviously, he should be beating these guys. But he's also, a roster bubble player. And if you're a roster bubble player dominating other roster bubble players, that's a good sign that you kind of belong above the roster bubble, at least a little bit, So Gallimore really, really impressed me in this game, especially as an explosive pass rusher. I think he did some okay stuff versus the run. He's not the best at holding up. I think some of the other D linemen, that's where they can have an advantage, is they're better at holding up versus the run at the point of attack, especially when it's like right at them. Gallimore did his thing on the backside of runs where he got to just work laterally. This is kind of an example of a broken play, but one, just using your hands, power in your hands, use the torque in that lower half. 2, good hand placement, throws this guy out of the way, and then just sticks with the hustle to get a tackle for loss on the broken play, because they fumbled the snap, so he wasn't able to get a clean handoff. But great hustle work by Gallimore, and absolutely deconstructing, destroying that block at the point of attack. Explosive off the ball again. Love every time he's getting engaged, he always has lower pad level. And sometimes when people get super low like this, because he's playing with really low pad level, they kind of lose their balance or they don't have as much power as they truly want. But he was consistently playing with power. Love the speed to power. Forklift, lift this guy up, push him back into the throwing lane of the quarterback. I like seeing one like this too, because all the other plays, he was kind of getting around people, getting under them, winning with Ben, winning with athleticism and technique. This one is just technique and power. And then force the quick throwaway underneath again. And then as I was saying, on the backside of runs is really where he played better. Backside of outside zone. He basically does a little bit of a throw by with the guard. The guard's working past him, so he just throws him by. Knocks him off balance. This is good too, because look, he throws him by, which knocks him off balance. This is a good feel for the play, good instincts, because he tells that he's going to go to the next level, which gets Curtis Bolton free, because now this guy doesn't take a good angle. And now the tackle is in panic mode to try to cut him off, and he throws his shoulder into him to keep him from getting into the chest, so he loses his balance, and then just shows off the lateral range and hustle to get down the line of scrimmage. High level work there from Gallimore, and he is consistently getting after it. Here they're working some stunts. He's the crash guy, attack the outside angle. The guy loops inside Cam Brown, and once the guard pulls off him, he gets back on the track, so he would have gotten, the pressure on the quarterback, which he throws it away. And it's just consistent. Sorry, this little thing popped up, but he gets up into the chest again. Look, every single time, this poor 74, man. He was playing way too high. Gallimore was playing super low. Like, look how much lower he is compared to everyone else. And just hands into chest. Now, this is quality forklift, because he got his hands right up on like that tricep area, lifted him up, and now he's just turning and opening him, continuously hand fighting and getting after it. The ball just comes out slightly again too early. If there was just a little bit more time, he would have done a great job. Here's another play with him in pursuit. This one where he has to get super down the line, doesn't want to get cut off. The 61 tries to do a good job to help 74, but just doesn't give him enough time, and he takes advantage of it. And Gallimore just continuously making plays. This time just aligned a little bit farther back, but trying to get through that B gap. I think this just shows off some explosiveness that, he's aligned much farther back than everyone, and he's basically the first one to get the closest to the quarterback. He's ripping underneath. Ball goes down to the flat. They're bringing some pressure. It's nice to see him just continuously getting upfield. That first burst, that first step that he shows is really, really nice. Here we get to see him at edge again. It was nice seeing him get some edge reps, because I think he's some of the defensive linemen can give you edge reps, but some of them are more like they're going to give you big edge reps, and that means they're going to try to like set the edge versus their run. Gallimore can give you edge reps and potentially still get after the quarterback, so that's where like things would be a little bit different for Gallimore compared to maybe like a Jonathan Harris, who's can play you some big edge, but he'll be a better run defender. But Gallimore, explosive off the ball. We saw it earlier. Good job attacking outside angle. He attacks the outside half, gets him to open up, and then boom, uses that right hand into the inside shoulder, throws him off balance, tries to throw them, rips the inside. He's getting a little bit of a double team, but he's still getting after the quarterback. He forces the quarterback off the spot to escape, and Gallimore still continues to work to get after it, shows some hustle. Doesn't quite, get the tackle there, but he was super disruptive, working that continuously, getting a lot of pressure in this game. So much pressure, and I really thought his initial punch was so good, man. Like, he had good hand placement. It was much better than, honestly, this was the best work I've ever seen out of him, like, than all his Dallas film. His Dallas film had flashes of this, and obviously this is the preseason, so you take it all with a grain of salt, It's not going to be this consistent against starters, but when it happens that much, you got to take notice of it, compare it to the other defensive linemen, because the other defensive linemen had good games, but it wasn't anything like this when it came to disrupting the passer. And some of these guys, some of the other defensive linemen are also NFL level players, so you got to take notice of that. And Gallimore is truly dominating out there. So if you guys know the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.